Alright, so this is just a quick demonstration of Slicerhub slicing 100 files at once. So I've written a test that is testing our processing task, and it goes through a range of 100. Well, it'll do 101 files. It'll create a slicing job. That's the model that has all the information. And then it will write the files, so it'll write a raw representation, just the binary that for testing. This is set up here in the setup of the test. But anyways, long story, the big part of this is this task.processJob.delay, where it'll take the slicer job ID, the type of slicer we want, and the version of the slicer, which we also are setting up initially through the factory, a slicer at version 097. And then let's go ahead and run this. So this up here, this is output from the task queue Celery engine, and we're going to go ahead, and then this over here is going to fill up with folders with files and G-code, because this test has to write the files to the slices directory and then slice them. So we're gonna, because that's where the process test is expecting the files that it's being told to slice to be in this folder. So let's go ahead and run this test. We run it, we kick it off, see the test finished, but the task queue is still slicing like crazy, and you can see that this folder over here is just rapidly filling up with all kinds of crazy. And then if you look in here, we've got a piece of G-code that got written. So just wrote this, took the test file with these parameters that are in the config file, and to slice this file. And it's going to keep going, and I'll check the time on this, but we're about halfway through from the little tiny bit that I saw. We're like job 150, because the database is not quite, I'm not quite cleaning up after myself with these tests. One of the issues with using tasks is that since they're asynchronous, essentially from the main thread for the testing thread, see the testing thread's already finished, these ones are still firing off. If I do any cleanup in the teardown, it will remove the slicing job models from the database, and then the slicing task will not be able to find them. So we're almost done. So I also need to clean up the fact that Slicer is outputting stuff, but so far functionally all the major parts of the library are in place, and looks like it finished. And so if we go to the very last one that was created, we have our STL file, our slicer settings that will open. So our slicer settings and our G-code. So that's the power of Slicerhub. Allows hundreds of jobs to be done in a relatively short period of time. Code is up on GitHub. I will try and write a very lightweight exposure of this through a REST API. Well, that's part of the plan, but just I wanted to get the main functionality is in place, and I wanted to share that first. So that's it, and I am done.